Have you ever wondered what makes a football club so dominant, so iconic, that it actually becomes a symbol for an entire nation? How does a team go beyond just sports to represent something way, way bigger? Well, let's dive into that by exploring the incredible story of Juventus, Italy's most successful and celebrated football club. So this is the modern face of Juventus. It's this clean, super stylized J that just looks so new era, right? But don't let that simplicity fool you. It's built on a foundation of relentless historic success. This logo is more than just a cool design. It's a statement. It says, we are forward-thinking and we are winners. And this number, this is what backs it all up. 36. That's the record-smashing number of official league titles Juventus has racked up. And to put that into perspective for you, nobody else in Italy is even in the same ballpark. This isn't just a number. It is the cornerstone of their absolute supremacy at home. And it's not just the league, not by a long shot. I mean, look at this. The numbers are just staggering. 36 league titles, 15 Coppa Italia trophies, and 9 Italian Super Cups. That means Juventus holds the record in every single major domestic competition. They are, without any doubt, the most decorated club in the history of Italian football. But here's the crazy part. This footballing empire didn't start with some big money buyout or a powerful corporation. Nope. In fact, it all started in a classroom. Let's rewind the clock and see how this journey from a bunch of students to absolute giants actually happened. Yeah, believe it or not, back in 1897, a group of pupils in Turin just decided to start a sports club. These weren't businessmen with a grand plan. They were just kids, and they picked a name that perfectly captured who they were. Juventus, which is just the Latin word for youth. And their growth was just explosive. They start as a student club in 1897, and boom, just 8 years later, they win their first championship. But the real turning point, the game changer, came in 1923. That's when the Agnelli family, the founders of the Fiat car empire, took control. This kicked off the oldest and longest-running sports dynasty in Italy, turning a club of youths into a professional juggernaut. And here's a fantastic bit of trivia for you. You know those iconic black and white stripes, the bianconeri? They weren't the original colors. The team actually started out playing in pink and black. But when the kit started to fade, they asked one of their English players for help. He just sent them the jerseys of his home club, Notts County, and just like that, a legendary look was born. Okay, so conquering Italy was one thing, but that was only the beginning. Juventus soon set its sights on the rest of Europe, and in classic Juve fashion, they didn't just compete, they became pioneers. This journey was nothing short of historic. They became the first club ever to win all 3 of the major seasonal UEFA competitions. They kicked it off with the UEFA Cup in '77, followed that with the Cup Winners' Cup in '84, and then grabbed the ultimate prize, the European Champions Cup in 1985. Nobody had ever done that before. But they weren't done. They added the 1984 European Super Cup and the 1985 Intercontinental Cup to their collection. And by doing that, Juventus achieved something no other club has managed to do. They became the first and, to this day, the only club in the world to have won every single historical confederation trophy out there. A total, complete, clean sweep of world football. But all these trophies, they're only part of the story. The real power of Juventus, its true magic, lies in what it represents to the people of Italy. So let's get into how this club became so deeply woven into the fabric of the national identity. And this is where we get this fascinating paradox. Remember how the club's name, Juventus, means youth? Well, its most famous nickname is La Vecchia Signora, the old lady. It's perfect, right? It totally captures the essence of the club, this youthful, energetic spirit that's backed by a grand, powerful, and deeply respected history. Now, here's what makes them truly unique, especially compared to other massive clubs in Europe. Think about it. Most big teams are tied to one city. Liverpool is Liverpool's team, Barcelona belongs to Barcelona. But Juventus, they're different. Their support is spread all across Italy, from the northern mountains down to the southern coast, and even among Italians living all over the world. They don't just belong to their home city of Turin, they belong to the entire nation. And there's this quote that just nails it perfectly. The club became a symbol of anti-parochialism, which is basically a force against those intense local rivalries, and a representation of Italianness itself. Supporting the Juventus became a way for people to connect with a single, unified Italian identity, not just a local one. So when you put all of these pieces together, the history, the records, the cultural impact, you end up with something that is so much more than just a football club. It's really an amazing story when you lay it all out. It all started with a group of students in Turin. Then they were forged by a powerful industrial dynasty, went on to achieve success nobody else could match at home, blazed a new trail in Europe, and ultimately became a living, breathing symbol of the Italian nation itself. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When a sports team captures the heart of an entire country like that, going beyond all the regional lines and rivalries, what does that team truly represent? Is it just about winning on the field? Or is it something much deeper, about unity, about ambition, and about identity?